Starting. Hello and welcome to everyone. Today our guest is Muhammad Dereese, PFL fighter. I'm so happy to have a PFL fighter on my show. You're actually the first inked PFL fighter at the moment, so this is a big honor for me. And thank you so much for joining. What can you say in general? Okay. What can you say in general about your career achievements? And then we are going to go with question by question.
Okay, yeah, no, it's good. To be signed with them, I got signed with them in 2018. And hey, hold on a second, baby, go play, go play your toys. But yeah, I got signed with them in 2018. They signed me on as like a debut fighter to fill in a fight, short notice, and I ended up winning first round stoppage. And then they called me again, short notice, and I won again, and then they ended up signing me for 2019. Where I made to the playoffs and ended up losing a close match to the guy who made it to the finals. And then, then 2020 happened, and nobody knew what was going to happen, after that. And, they called me short notice again, to be back in it. It's been great working with them to take care of their fighters. The experience is great to be able to fight on ESPN. I got nothing but great things, great experiences from the PFL.
That is outstanding. What do you think in general about PFL as a promotion? I mean, like in-depth analysis about weigh-ins, etc. Do you understand the question?
Yeah, yes. About the setup and how it's run and stuff like that. I was very surprised at the how well they work together. How well the promotion is run. And then to have it so where that the fighters, it's up to them what happens with their career and the money they make as far as you win, you move on to the next round, you make it to the playoffs. And if you make it to the finals, you have a chance of making big money. Whereas, some other organizations, you got to, talk junk or, sell tickets and this, that, third. Whereas, the PFL, they want you to finish fights. And, fans love to see finishes. And your destiny is in your own hands. You go out there, you win, and make it to the playoffs and win the finals, you're a millionaire. So, the opportunity is for everyone to have, life-changing money. The promotion itself, with the cage, the lighting, being able to fight on ESPN worldwide, it's just it's a huge thing, especially for a fighter, to get out to the people. And it's a great organization, and how it's run, it's so good, and I'm happy to be a fighter for them.
How does everything look like in PFL? For example, you enter the hall, and then until the match, how does everything look like? Can you please describe the procedure?
So yeah, this year was a little different. This year we had the quarantine because with the pandemic happening and everything like that. So this year we had to show up for the first fights. We showed up 3 weeks early under quarantine at the hotel. They had places for us to train. They had food for us available. So that worked out, well while we were there. It kind of sucked being that, that long away from my family. But they did the best with that. And then, again, for the next time we came back, we had to be there for 2 weeks. They tested us every day. So, that was a different thing, but they put us in a beautiful hotel. They cover all our expenses, the flights, the food and everything like that. So, they take care of us. But this year we had to do it a little different. Usually, we show up a week of the fight, we get our paid per diem, we go about the city, do whatever we want to do, train, and then come, weigh in and fight. So it was a little different this time, but I think now that we're getting everything back to normal, go back to the same.
There was no PFL back in 2020. You were having something we call in our state monthly expenses. So how did it exactly look like?
Well, the monthly expenses was to like some of the guys who they still did work through 2020, where there was interviews and stuff like that, the champions. And the champions got paid well from the year before. So, they weren't really hurting money-wise. As far as the monthly stipends, a lot of fighters were relieved of their contracts. I was relieved of my contract in 2020, so I didn't receive any money or anything like that. And, many other fighters didn't. So I think the only fighters that received any kind of monthly thing were guys who were still getting interviewed and stuff like that, the champions and whatnot. and a select few others. Me and probably about 80% of the league was cut. And and then some of us were signed back. Most of us not. We got a lot of new talent in. I was lucky to be called back as an alternate. And then my division, the heavyweight division, lost probably like 4 or 5 fighters. So, all the alternates pretty much had to step in and fight. I had to step in on short notice and fight. And, I had a pretty tough matchups, but, I'm not complaining. They paid us well, and they take care of us.
When did you start training MMA, and which was your first martial art?
I started training MMA 2012. I stumbled into it. I was trying to get back in shape for football, and I had a torn groin, so I couldn't run. So I started boxing to stay in shape. I started doing tough man boxing. I went 9-0 doing tough man boxing at these bars, just for the heck of it. And my buddy Richard Jones, he saw me. He said, "Hey, I saw you box and I saw you wrestle in high school when you was a state champion. You ever thought about MMA?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I could do it." I've been studying martial arts since I was young. My father was a black belt in Taekwondo and karate. So I've been exposed to it from a young age. I wrestled in high school. I did really well. So, I figured I could do it, and I started doing it. I started amateur in 2012. I went 11-0 in 13 months. Just taking fights. I just wanted to do it. I love to fight already, and I got into it. It made me train more because I knew I had a fight coming up, so I would train harder. I felt in great shape, and and after my 4th fight, I knocked somebody out, and he said, "You're gonna go pro," and I said, "I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just doing it for fun." And he's like, "Listen, I train with pros. I never got hit so hard in my life. You should think about it." So I challenged myself. I told my manager, Mr. Jones, and said, "Hey, if you know anybody that wants to fight that can't find nobody, I'll do it." And so I would take fights 2 weeks notice, a week notice, a month notice. I was just taking them, and I went undefeated, and I decided to go pro. And then I went pro, and then I couldn't find no fights I went 3 years without a fight before the PFL called me, and I was considering leaving it alone. And I was like, "Well, look, I can't afford to keep training and not working as much to stay ready to fight." So, I prayed on it, and then Ray Sifo gave me a phone call. I answered the call, short notice, went out, and, the rest is history.
That is great. Can you please elaborate your nickname?
Mo Muscle, Muhammad Mo Muscle. I got it when I was in high school. I played running back in high school. I was always in the gym. I always, worked hard in the gym. When I played, I would run people over. I would stiff arm people. When I wrestled, I would slam people and I would throw people around. And, I remember a couple cheerleaders made me this poster, and she put Muhammad, she put Mo Muscle on it. And I was like, "Yo, I like that." I like that. So that's going to be my nickname. So I just stuck with it. They called me the Beast when I was fighting a little bit too. And so some fights I came out as the Beast. Some I came out as Mo Muscle, and I figured Mo Muscle is more original. There's a lot of people that have the Beast as their nickname, so I just ran with Mo Muscle.
What can you say about TUF season you participated at?
Excuse me, say that again?
TUF season, you fought Kyle Roundtree, right?
Yes. I got selected for the Ultimate Fighter season Tough 23. I got the call to go out there. I went out there, I tried out, I made the cut, and got paired up with Kyle Roundtree to get into the house. And it was a cool opportunity to meet Dana White and, be involved with the UFC. It was a great experience. It was funny. Me and Khalil was the only undefeated fighters there, and we got paired up, first round. And I had a really hard weight cut. That's when I realized I probably shouldn't cut to 205 anymore and move to heavyweight. I barely made weight. I just made weight at the last second for the most part. And after the first round, I was drained. The first round, I came out strong. I took him down at will. Almost submitted him. I thought I had him with the rear naked, and he ended up getting out. And then the second round, I didn't have nothing left in me, and I went back out there, and he ended up finishing it. But that was an awesome experience to, be an Ultimate Fighter. I watched it when I was coming up, and to have the experience to say, hey, I was selected to go fight for the Ultimate Fighter was just an awesome experience.
What can you say about your first ever PFL fight? Leroy Johnson, right?
Oh man, yeah, that was fun, man. That was great. It was scary also how it ended, but it was great to get back in it because, like I said, I was out. I was out without a fight for about 3 years, and I went out there. To this promotion. It was a beautiful promotion. They took care of us. They gave us good per diem. I wasn't used to that. I was fighting these little small shows where you didn't barely make any money. So to go there and be put up in this beautiful hotel, the ocean, and to have video interviews, photo ops, and it was very professional. And then to get out there and go out there and win with such dominant fashion with the flying knee. I call it a fadeaway knee because I was going backwards and I landed the knee, and to be able to fight on, I think we were on ESPN Plus or NBC Sports or something like that, but to be able to go out and do that on the national stage for a major organization it meant the world to me and put me right back into the MMA mix where I wanted to be, and I thought I wasn't going to do it no more, and it was cool.
Who was the hardest PFL opponent you've ever met as of now?
The hardest was Gostov. Gostov, his reach and trying to figure out how to get past not necessarily just his jab. He had a strong jab, but his lead leg kick, the high kick, and just trying to find the distance was tricky trying to figure out, especially coming off of 2020, that inactivity, and to get back in there and he just plays chess well. I was trying to draw him in to come close, and he did a good job at keeping his distance no matter what. I kind of tried to turn and hope that he would try to come close and try to counter with an overhand or working for a shot, but he was very disciplined on keeping his distance and working that. In my last fight, even with some people might say my last fight with the Brazilian Capeloso, those punches and stuff. It's crazy because it didn't really feel that it was affecting me too much, and I was trying to let him wear himself out and then move to go back in, and one of those I guess clipped me, and I didn't even know. I went to go throw an uppercut and thought I was throwing a hook afterwards in a straight, and next thing you know, I see a leg coming at me, and I'm on my knee and I block it, and so that fight I ended up losing that one, but the most difficult opponent I feel like was Gostov, just dealing with his length. And he's very composed, and he knows how to use his length very well. So I would say the Gostov fight was my toughest so far.
What is your walking weight?
I walk around 260.
Yeah, you're a big man even for a heavyweight. You're a big man.
Yeah, 260. I walk around. I'm not very tall, but I've always been big boned, and heavy. When I fought when I was younger, I walked around at 220. When I first started, and then my weight just kept climbing up, and I wouldn't touch no weights to try to keep my weight down, and I still would be about 220, 225, and I would be able to make the cut by running hard and sweating out a lot. But as I got older, how the metabolism slows down a little bit when you get older, and I saw that it was very hard to go down, so I started lifting weights again, and so see if I can get heavy enough, I'll do it. And I shot up to about 245 really fast. And then I cut back down when I was training, and my weight gradually, continued to climb. But, I like to fight around 245. And so this next fight, I'm trying to, get my cardio up and get this road work in and get my weight around 245, because that way I still feel very powerful and I'm light on my feet.
Who are your coaches and sparring partners?
My coach is Todd Cutler. He's one of my sparring partners. Also, he's black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He was he was number 15 in the world. He got his black belt under Cyborg Abreu. Very tough guys. I also go train over at Fusion in Orlando. Work with Philip Rowe and Alex Nicholson and Rashawn Jackson, a couple guys over there. Jacare, I work with Jacare Souza a little bit. Especially in 2020, beginning of the year, we did a lot of work. Toward the end of the year, we had to, since I would have no fights, we had to start working. and I got away a little bit with the sparring, but now we back full fledged now, putting in work. Alex just moved back up to Orlando, so me and Alex Nicholson will be sparring a lot here soon. He was with the PFL before his suspension. He was doing pretty good too, knockout artist, and about to go get back with him and start sparring and get this striking work.
How does one day in your life look like since the moment you wake up until you go to sleep?
I wake up to kids asking me for cereal in the morning. My daughter wanting to play dolls. I go to the gym around about 9 o'clock, do some weightlifting, go 10 o'clock for jiu-jitsu, MMA, and come home and, eat and, go back out later and run. Wrestling season will start not too soon, but pretty soon. I coach wrestling also at astronaut high school. So when I get with them, I drill with my heavyweights and I go on the runs with them that I make them do a mile before practice and, come home and rest. Right now it's been kind of hectic because I just had to move. So Saturday I got to pack my truck up and head out. So this past week we just been 2 weeks actually been finding a new place. This housing market over here in Florida, well, actually the whole United States, has been crazy. So it was kind of hard to find a place, but we got a place over on an island. So we're excited about that.
Do you have the favorite strike and the favorite submission?
Yes, my favorite strike is the overhand right, which people saw, but I also like the knees. I like the knees on the overhand. I really like the elbows are my favorite, but we can't use it in the PFL. But the elbows are my favorite strikes. But the overhand is one of my favorites as well. And as far as submission, our favorite submission is the Kimura. I can get it from a lot of different angles.
All right. Would you like to greet somebody? Would you like to give a shout out to somebody? Or would you like to say something about yourself we didn't say in the interview?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to all my family, all my supporters that's been around since 2012. Even before that, it's been always, have my back. Shout out to my coach, Todd Cutler, Julian over in Fusion. Shout out to all the people who work with me and my promotions, Mo Muscle Fighting Championship. I run a amateur fight promotion over in Melbourne, Florida, and that's doing pretty well now. Started it a couple of years ago and, starting to have some success with that, with the fighters in my area. So shout out to the whole team, that's working with me, Mike. Shout out to Alton, everybody who's, been helping out recently. And just, it's Mo Muscle holding it down round for round, pound for pound, in and out of your town. You know who wear the crown. That's how it go down.
That's outstanding. Thank you so much for this interview. And always a pleasure to have a PFL opponent. I will release the interview tomorrow and let you send you a link. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. You have a blessed day.
All right. Have a great day, Mo.